All right, welcome back, everybody. We are diving into a whole bunch of NBA games, and let me tell you, there were some crazy ones. Some really close games, some blowouts. We saw some players just go off, but we're not just going to look at the box score and be like, "Oh yeah, this team won." No, we're going to dig deeper. We want to know why these teams won.
It's amazing how in the NBA, like a team can be struggling one week and then the next week they're on a winning streak,
Yeah.
and it's really fascinating. And I think that's why we do this, right? Is we dig a little deeper,
Yeah.
try to figure out those factors, what's driving these wins.
Let's start with the Lakers and the Pelicans. Final score 136-115. Lakers took that one. But it wasn't just a win. This was a historic game. LeBron James hit 50,000 combined points regular season and playoffs.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, that's not just a milestone. That's like a testament to his longevity.
Yeah.
Think about it. How many players in NBA history can maintain that level of production for 2 decades?
Yeah.
It's rare. It's extremely rare. What I find so fascinating about LeBron is how he's adapted his game over time. Early LeBron was all about explosive athleticism. Now he's, obviously still athletic, but he's added finesse, incredible court vision. He's a master of efficiency.
Right.
It's not just about scoring. It's about basketball IQ. It's about adapting and staying on top of your game for, year after year after year.
It's amazing to see. And then you have Luka Doncic, who had a triple-double, 30 points, 15 assists, and 8 rebounds. The guy just does not stop.
Yeah, he was everywhere. And also, I think it's important to note that Lakers were missing a couple of key players in this game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Guys like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura were out, so this win
Right.
really speaks to the depth of the Lakers, being able to step up even when shorthanded.
And even in a loss, you got to give credit where credit's due, right? Zion Williamson put up 37 points for the Pelicans, so at least he had a good game.
Oh, yeah, he was a beast out there. Sometimes you just got to appreciate individual brilliance, even in a loss. Zion's got that scoring instinct, that's for sure. Keeps you watching, even when the team's not necessarily clicking on all cylinders.
Right. All right, next up we got a nail-biter, the Suns versus the Clippers. Final score 119-117. Suns took it, but listen to this. The Suns were down by 23 points in the third quarter.
Oh, wow. Yeah, talk about a wild comeback.
It was an incredible game to watch, just back and forth.
To come back from a deficit like that, it takes a lot of mental toughness. I'm curious what you think the turning point in that game was. Was it a coaching decision? Was it, Kevin Durant taking over? What do you think?
Well, Kevin Durant came alive in the fourth, scoring 19 of his 34 points when it mattered most. He's known for those clutch performances, but this one, it felt different.
Yeah, he was on fire. But let's not forget about Colin Gillespie, the backup guard. He hit the game-winning three-pointer. Sometimes it's those unexpected contributions that can make all the difference in a close game.
Yeah. Now, on the Clippers side, you got to acknowledge Ivica Zubac had a career-high 35 points.
Yeah.
Even in a loss, that's an achievement.
Yeah, Zubac was a monster down low. Sometimes a player just has a night like that where everything seems to go in.
Right.
But for the Suns, this win is huge because it gives them the season series sweep over the Clippers, and that could be really important for playoff seeding down the road.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to a game where we saw a huge breakout performance. The Spurs beat the Nets 127-113, and Devin Vassell, oh boy, was he on fire. Career high 37 points.
Yeah, nights like that, for a young player, that can really just boost their confidence going forward. It's huge. But it wasn't just about Vassell. The Spurs really controlled the paint in this game. They outscored the Nets 62-40 down low.
So they had a game plan, right? And they stuck with it. It just shows how important it is to not just play to your strengths, but also exploit your opponent's weaknesses. What were some of the things, specifically that you saw them doing to control the paint?
Well, they were super aggressive on the offensive boards, getting a lot of second chance points. And they did a great job of feeding the ball to their big men down low, creating those mismatches.
Right.
It was a clinic in paint dominance, I got to say.
And let's not forget about the three-point shooting, 18 for 39 from beyond the arc. It's not like the old Spurs. They can really light it up from outside now.
That's right. You got to be versatile in today's NBA. A threat from everywhere on the court. And, speaking of making an impact, Bismack Biyombo, he just signed a new contract with the Spurs, and he had 13 points, 14 rebounds, came in ready to play.
Talk about seizing the moment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show you that those roster moves can really shake things up. On the other side, though, the Nets, they're struggling. This is their 5th straight loss.
Yeah, it happens to every team, but 5 losses in a row, that can start to affect morale. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they respond. Do they make any changes, try a different approach, or do they just keep grinding?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well, let's move on to a team that's definitely not struggling. The Cavaliers, they demolished the Bulls 139-117, and they are riding an 11-game winning streak right now.
Wow, 11 games. That is, they're looking like a real contender in the East. What stands out to you about this streak? Is it the offense, the defense, or a combination of both?
Honestly, it's the balance. You got Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland leading the way. Mitchell had 28, Garland had 19, but it's not just them. They're getting contributions from everyone. And their defense has been really, really good. That 14-0 run they had in the fourth quarter, I mean, that was just dominant.
Yeah, I think that speaks to their confidence right now. When a team is on a roll like that, they believe they can win every game, and that belief just translates to every possession on the court. The Bulls, on the other hand, well, not so much. They've lost 9 of their last 11.
Yeah, rough stretch for them. The NBA season's a roller coaster, man. Highs and lows, you just got to ride it out.
That's the truth. All right, well, let's talk about a game where injuries played a big factor. The Timberwolves beat the 76ers, 126-112. But the Sixers were missing some key players in this one. No Embiid, no Maxey.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but it's part of the game, right?
Yeah,
Long season, guys get banged up. Makes you wonder, what would happen if the Sixers were healthy.
for sure. It changes the whole dynamic of the game. But you got to give the Sixers credit. They still fought hard. Quentin Grimes had a great game, 30 points. He really stepped up.
But the Timberwolves, they just took advantage, especially in the fourth quarter. They went on a 25-9 run. I mean, they smelled blood in the water.
That's what good teams do. They capitalize on opportunities. Naz Reid led the way for them with 23 points, but I thought Nickel Alexander-Walker had a huge impact off the bench with 20.
Yeah. The bench can be so important in those situations.
For sure. It's not just about the starters. It's about having that depth. And the Timberwolves also did a great job forcing turnovers, turning defense into offense. That was huge.
Absolutely. All right, one more game to break down before we wrap things up. The Kings beat the Warriors in a close one, 126-123. Big win for the Kings to snap a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah. Anytime you can end a losing streak, especially against a tough opponent like the Warriors, it's got to feel good. Get that momentum back.
De'Aaron Fox, man, he was unstoppable in this one. 44 points. It felt like every time the Warriors got close, he just hit another big shot.
Yeah, he was in the zone, and it wasn't just, chucking up shots. He was efficient, too. 17 for 26 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3.
Yeah.
That's what you call a statement game.
And Domantas Sabonis with another double-double, 14 points, 16 rebounds. The guy's a machine, just doing all the dirty work down low.
I think Sabonis' presence in the paint really opens things up for Fox. He draws so much attention that it creates space for Fox to operate. They've got a great chemistry going.
Yeah, they do. On the Warriors side, Steph Curry, he had a decent game, 27 points, but it wasn't enough. They really missed Klay Thompson, who was out with an illness.
Yeah, Clay's absence was definitely felt. He's such a big part of their offense, especially with his shooting. Just, that ability to space the floor and knock down threes. It's so valuable. It just shows you how much one player can impact a team's performance.
It really does. Well, we covered a lot of games tonight. What are some of your biggest takeaways? Anything that really stood out to you?
What I love about the NBA is just the unpredictability of it all. We saw some huge comebacks, some career nights, teams overcoming adversity. Every game is a story. It reminds you that anything can happen.
Yeah, I agree. So what should we be keeping an eye on as the season goes on? Any bold predictions?
Well, I'm really curious to see if the Lakers can keep this up with LeBron, defying father time. Can they make a deep playoff run? And can the Suns, pull off more of those comebacks against tougher opponents? The West is wide open. It's going to be an exciting finish.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the NBA. We'll be back soon with more, so stay tuned.